So as we head into the offseason, we turn our attentions toward free agency, basically the guys on our team who are free agents that we would like to re-sign. One of those names in particular that of course is out there is DaRon Payne. DaRon Payne had a monster year this year. I don't know why that he wasn't initially voted in as a Pro Bowler, but he got in a little bit later on thanks to someone else, I guess, ducking out. But well deserved for DaRon Payne. I mean, he had a fantastic year, being his contract year, of course, with the Washington Commanders. He's a full fledged free agent, and we drafted Fedorian Mathis this past year. Of course, Mathis had that season-ending injury earlier on in the season, so we didn't really get to see anything about Mathis as far as could Mathis be the guy that can replace DaRon Payne at that level of play that DaRon Payne can give us. I think in time we probably can see that out of Fedorian, but until then, it really begs the question to ask: should we spend the money on DaRon Payne? Many feel like DaRon Payne is probably gone because DaRon Payne, the one thing that is on his mind right now is that money, is that big contract. And he's going to go wherever that they're going to give him that huge contract. So he has no ties or loyalty to the Washington Commanders at this point. And I think that would be a pretty big loss for the Commanders. I mean, your assumption is you hope that Fedorian is able to come in after his injury and be able to perform at a high level. But again, he's an unproven commodity in the NFL. We don't know if he's going to work out or not. And there might be a little bit of drop off in talent there. We're also going to have to hope, if we do lose DaRon Payne, that guys like Chase Young returns to rookie form as he did in 2020 and becomes that beast of a player that he was before his injury. The thing is, I've always preached on this channel, is that this is the strongest point of the Washington Commanders football team. Their defensive line. You don't want to break up that defensive line, but you also know it's going to be very hard to keep them together because, quite frankly, when you have a group of number one, or not number one draft picks, but first round draft picks, all on that defensive line, when it comes to payday, you're going to have to pay them to keep them. You're not just going to be able to skirt by on the vet minimum and thinking you're going to keep a Montez Sweat, Chase Young, and a DaRon Payne, and Jonathan Allen. Now, we've been able to pay Jonathan Allen, and we've reaped those benefits. Jonathan Allen had a monster year as well this year. And, Montez Sweat kind of started off a little slow, but he had a pretty good year himself. And, of course, Chase Young, it took him most of the year to finally get back into playing. And so we really didn't get to see a lot out of Chase Young, but his first game back, he was, I thought that he made his presence known. So hopefully a full season ahead of him next year, we'll see Chase Young back to being the old Chase Young again. We can only hope. But will Fedorian Mathis, will he be the replacement that we need if we lose DaRon Payne? And I think honestly, last offseason, Martin Mayhew, Ron Rivera, I think they knew that it was going to be very tough to keep DaRon Payne. And probably also following some of the incidents that they had with DaRon Payne, if you forget, or if you don't remember, it was the 21 season, last season of the Washington football team, where DaRon Payne had a fight with John Allen on the sidelines there. Some people may have thought, what? It's not worth it to keep this guy. He's a troublemaker. He's going to have an attitude. Why do we want to keep him? And then, of course, the next year, everything's fine. I mean, they were teammates before, but everything was fine after that. had a great year this year, great teammate. And now, with Mathis getting hurt, certainly things have changed. It's like, I think we still need him. And I would still love to be able to have DaRon Payne. But I think we also have to look at this as well. Do we have the luxury? Because we have really got to work on that offensive line. And I hope that I'm not the only one, that the fans are not the only ones who are seeing this. I hope that the coaching staff understand this. The front office understands that the offensive line is priority number one. You have got to rebuild that offensive line. And quite frankly, that has been one of the downfalls since Ron Rivera has come to town, is he's taken a pretty decent offensive line. He's made them extremely mediocre. And he has got to reverse that. He has got to make that offensive line stout. And especially if you're going to have a run-first mentality, you've got to have the Hogs up there. And so, Hogs 3.0, 4.0, I don't know what version that we need to be on, but we definitely need to be on something more stout than what we had. No offense to the guys that played, but we're either going to have to shuffle some guys around in better positions, maybe permanently move Sam Cosmi to a guard instead of tackle. Maybe see if we can try to move Leno to guard. I loved Leno. I thought, he wasn't the biggest left tackle, and he wasn't the most talented left tackle, but he did okay. He did okay. But could we improve that position? Absolutely, we can improve that position. We can improve every single position on that offensive line, and I think we need to address as much as we can get. We need to go out into the draft, and we can see if there are some top-round talents there when we pick. Are there any tackles? Are there any guards there at 16 for the Washington Commanders to get? If there are, you need to draft that position at that point. I don't know about, center. It seems like center, we're always teeter-tottering between we've got a solid center to we have no centers because everybody's hurt. So, center, you're probably going to have to look at that maybe later on in the latter rounds. But certainly tackle is priority, I would think, on that offensive line and depth. Maybe we go out and see in free agency if there's any tackles out there and guards that would be a little bit better of a pickup than what we got. I wasn't a fan of Norwell this year. I just don't think that he really graded out that well, although I did hear that he graded out better than what Brandon Sheriff did, which was amazing. It seems like a lot of people, I didn't really follow the Jaguars that well, but there were some fans who followed and said that, really, I don't think anybody necessarily won that switch up. It wasn't really a trade, but, we kind of sort of unofficially traded guards, and I don't think either one of us really got our money's worth out of that. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments, because I think offensive line is going to be the biggest thing. But, I think it's going to come from the fact that we're not going to re-sign DaRon Payne. So there's going to be money freed up from that. There's going to be money freed up, obviously, from getting rid of Carson Wentz. So we're going to have some money in free agency to see if we can lure a proven offensive lineman to come and play for us. As well as we're probably going to be looking at the draft as well on that as too. So, and certainly we're going to use the free agency to pick up a journeyman quarterback. I'm probably not the only one saying that. I guarantee you, if I watch any other Commanders podcast, they're probably saying the same thing. As I said in my last video, watch it please. We're not going to be in the market for Aaron Rodgers. We're not going to be in the market for Tom Brady. So we're probably going to wind up grabbing somebody like, I don't know. Think of any journeyman quarterbacks out there, and that's probably who we're going to be in the market for. Just somebody to kind of, help the development along for Sam Howell. But Sam Howell is definitely going to go into the offseason as the leading candidate to be quarterback number one, and I think that's probably the smart move. Again, let me know what you think in the comments section. Please like this video, share it out with your friends. It helps the YouTube algorithm. It helps me out a whole lot when you interact with this video. So please, at least if you don't comment, at least like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Please consider subscribing to this channel. When you do, make sure you hit that notification bell so you'll know when I release a video, because I am bound to release a video at any point during the day. Okay, folks, take care. I will see you. Yes, I will see you in the next one.
Hey, you stayed until the very end. Thank you so much. Watch another one right now.